is quite polished as well, but nowhere near to the extent of the last build on my list, the Hammerhead. Now, if you aren't a Hammerhead player, I'm willing to bet that when you look at this build, you think the player fell asleep during character creation and accidentally set eye width to the max. But if you think this option is purely aesthetic and not intentional, you couldn't be more wrong.
I've seen Hammerhead sharks before. They're just like really ugly, you know? But I don't know why they're so OP.
Hammerheads have the best, most well-optimized sensory abilities in the game. They have full panoramic vision and have binocular eyesight ahead and behind them, which gives them a massive accuracy bonus on the attack and a huge evasion bonus if they're being chased. With the chemo and electroreceptors on the front of their face, they essentially have 3D smell and 3D electroreception, putting their spatial awareness almost as high as dolphins and bats. Their snout shape also lets them turn on a dime, which makes it so their attacks almost never
looks like that conservative chick that made a video. Yeah, Brittany Venti.
Miss. Furthermore, while they don't hunt together, they do travel in schools, providing safety in numbers and causing an intimidation debuff on pretty much the entire surrounding area. So that's the tier list for the Sharks. As you can see, they're an amazing class with a lot of useful abilities and strengths to play around with. They have only a
Bro, this shit is fucking absolute doo-doo, okay? There is no reason to ever go in the water. Just don't go in the water. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, just leave. Listen, vegans should love me, okay? I don't eat fish. I want to leave fish the fuck alone, okay? Just literally don't. I don't want to be near fish. I don't want to be around fish. I don't want to hear about fish, which is, of course, why I'm going to play Subnautica soon. I'm just gearing up for it by, I guess, scaring the shit out of myself, while also fixing my fucking nails that I totally butchered here. My cuticles are so busted that like it is impossible. It would have been impossible to do a good job with the nail polish regardless, by the way. I can wash my hands now, right? It's so much worse than Subnautica. Why, dude? What the fuck?
a few bad mashups like dolphins, orcas, and a few other top tier fish like swordfish and marlin. Thanks for watching. You may have noticed that this channel went from less than 10,000 to well above 100,000 within a single week, which happens because YouTube started recommending my videos. So to repay the—
Oh, this is really old. From 2017, goddamn. Wait, where is the— oh shit, I thought I clicked on the video of Fisherman Breaks Down. Where's the one? I still don't really know whether Hassan is afraid of big fish or the deep unknowingness of the ocean. Both. How about both? Why not both? I don't understand why people aren't afraid of it. I legitimately feel as though people who are I honestly feel like people who are unafraid of the water are just dumb. They're dumb bitches. They're silly bitches. Okay? Like, you should be very afraid. You should be very, very afraid. Oh, here, this is the video I was looking for.
Sure.
What?
Sure.
Jason!
The one thing I don't understand is, why are people always surprised when there's a shark in the ocean? Like, you're throwing dead animals into the ocean. What did you think was gonna pop up? Flipper?
This is gonna trigger the fuck out of me, dude. But I also agree with her take. I also agree with her point of view, which is, fuck you mean? It's your fault. You're literally fucking going in there. That's his house. Don't go into a motherfucker's house and expect not to get hit. Fuck you think was gonna happen if you walk into a dude's house like that? Just saying. Makes sense. Anyway. Find out an RP, dude. You literally just suggested to extinct them? Alright, shut up. Stop being a baby, marine biologist. You know I'm fucking joking. How many subs to get you scuba diving? No, there's not an amount of subs that would let me do that. I'll die. Like, your question is like, are you trying to die on camera? Because I will literally fucking die on camera. And then, therefore, will be banned because that's not up to TOS standards. Dude, bears are way more terrifying than sharks. I'd rather go in the ocean than the forest. No, fuck that, dude. I want to die on my 2 fucking feet and I see motherfuckers killing me, okay? Like, I would rather die by bear attack than a fucking shark attack. It's way more gnarly. If you're gonna die, wouldn't you rather at least, like, be able to breathe the air and shit? I feel like it's crazy that you can... Hammerheads can sense the electric pulse that makes your heartbeat. You literally can't hide. Okay, fuck that, dude. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Also, here's top of the hour. Every hour it's time for a 60-second ad break. Boys, you already know what the deal is. We're going to hit that fucking ad break right now. If you no longer want to see the ads, all you need to do is subscribe. You can do it for $5 or for free. By connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, you get 1 free Prime subscription a month. Here's the ad break now. Running the video now.
I'm Melissa Christina Marquez, and I'm a marine biologist. This is The Breakdown.
What the fuck? Wait, this show is literally called The Breakdown? Oh, now I don't feel so bad stealing the fucking content because, guess what? My content feels a little stolen right now. Right about now. My content feels just a tad bit, just a wee bit stolen here. Okay? Bullshit, dude. Bullshit.
First up, Jaws. So Jaws is probably one of my favorite shark movies, hands down. While it didn't inspire me to become a shark scientist, it definitely piqued my interest in what these animals were all about. All right, so you see that? That's called counter camouflage. So that's when a shark has 2 different colors. It's usually darker on top and lighter on the bottom, and it's just for these kind of purposes, where it's really hard to see the shark, even though the water's pretty clear and it's not that far away. It's an amazing tactic that they use for stealth and being able to surprise attack a prey. If you look at a shark from above, and you're looking down, the darker skin color actually blends into the ocean water and the ocean ground. Whereas if you're looking up at a shark from when you're beneath it, the white belly actually kind of looks like sunlight trickling down. So what you just saw is actually something really common in shark science, which means the shark leaves. A lot of time we want the shark to come right at us, and usually it leaves. But these cages are perfect for not only seeing sharks underwater, but actually tagging them with something that lets us actually know more about its lifestyle. So where it's been, where it's going, what it's doing, what it's eating, at what temperature or light depth it's at. So a lot of times we actually have a similar pole to what you saw here with kind of like a dart at the end of it. And at that dart, we actually attach a tag to it and embed it in what's that dorsal fin, so that top fin for the shark. You try to embed it in there because that's probably one of the toughest areas to get rid of a tag. So it doesn't hurt the shark. It kind of feels like a bit of a pinch. Very similar to what you saw. You kind of hold on to the edges of the bar, kind of wait for the shark to come by, and you kind of just stab at the shark and hope it sticks. Otherwise, that's thousands of dollars that have just sunk to the bottom of the ocean. We don't ever inject our sharks with poison. It probably wouldn't work. They have quite high immune systems.
That's what you think, motherfucker. That's where I come in, dude. That's where I come in. Okay? Give me the fucking stab sharking duties. Fucking shark stabbing duties. Shark cage meta better than the hot tub meta. I will poison these fucking things, dude.
Systems. They're not impenetrable, but I've never heard of anyone successfully trying or wanting to try to poison a shark through
I'll do it.
I love the iconic Jaws music. The buildup of the music is amazing because you're just kind of sitting there in suspense being like, right, when's it gonna happen? When's it gonna happen? Oh, there's the big boy. In Jaws, Bruce, which is the main character, is a great white shark. While sharks sometimes can ram a cage, especially if the bait is being pulled really, really close to the cage, unlike a lot of fish, shark actually can't swim backwards. So once they're going somewhere, they really have not much wiggle room to be able to backtrack. So a lot of times, if the bait is being pulled too close to the cage or the shark itself gets too close to the cage, it can't go backwards and it has to ram into the cage. Personally, for me, I haven't had any bad cage experiences. I have had sharks actually ram the cage. Will it make a dent like this? No. It'd have to be a really, really big shark. And so far from all of the experiences that I've had and that I've seen, no shark can do that much damage to a cage. Most of the shark cages that you see nowadays actually have the same exact structure as the cages back in the 70s and the 80s. So even back then, a shark wouldn't be able to make such a big dent in it. So that is probably one of my favorite parts of the entire movie, just because you can see how fake Bruce looks. But I mean, it wasn't bad for way back when they kind of made all the animatronics for this. The few times I have seen a shark actually enter a cage, it's usually a smaller shark that's actually gone in between the bars by accident, and it does not like it whatsoever. It's actually, most of the time, pretty terrified. The ending of this clip is actually real sharks on top of a shark diving cage. It does happen. They usually do freak out, and as you can kind of see, there's a lot of thrashing as they're trying to get back into their natural environment, back into the ocean. So the reason why he dove all the way down to the bottom of the ocean floor is because sharks are what we call ambush predators. So they like attacking something at the surface, whereas something on the actual ground can see where a shark is coming, kind of wedge themselves into a place of safety. So it's not so much that sharks can't go that deep, it's a lot harder for them to actually be able to surprise attack, which is their preferred mode of hunting. Jaws actually helped kind of have a catalyst of not only people who were interested in sharks, but also people who were absolutely terrified of sharks. The author, Peter Benchley, actually regrets writing it and spent a lot of his time doing ocean conservation and trying to right the wrong of making sharks not be as vilified. But unfortunately, a lot of people still do cite this movie as one reason as to why they are so afraid of sharks and the ocean. Next up, we've got The Meg. Megalodon is a very, very, very extinct shark. Contrary to what some things might say out there, it is no longer in our oceans, unfortunately, but it was a giant shark that a lot of people have likened to look like a great white shark, even though it is actually more closely related to other sharks such as mako sharks. There's quite a few theories that have gone around as to why it became extinct, everything from climate change to a giant meteor, that their prey item ran out. So it's really, really interesting to kind of see what ended up happening with this big shark, but there is a giant fascination with this giant predator. While we don't know if Megalodon would actually go through kelp forests, it's actually just been recently found out that great white sharks, which are a relative of the Megalodon shark, actually does go through kelp forests. Previously, a lot of shark scientists, we all believe that sharks kind of didn't like that barrier and stayed away from it. But new technology, such as a GoPro attached to the top fin of a shark, has actually showed that they do hunt through a kelp forest. So nowhere is safe. Oh, thousands of dollars right to the ground.
No, I didn't leave you guys. I'm fucking watching on my on the phone. And as far as the shark in the Shark Tank footage goes, or as far as someone asking me if I would go into a shark tank, I decided not to after seeing the footage of the shark actually going into the shark cage. I'm pretty good on that. Never mind. I was being real fucking confident earlier about poisoning sharks. I'm not gonna do that anymore. Fuck that. Okay.
I promise you, no shark is big enough to get an anchor stuck to it and be able to pull multiple people and other giant structures with it. But it's pretty cool to see in CGI. If an anchor got stuck on a shark, this shark would probably die. At least nowadays, unless it was like a whale shark or something, which is one of the bigger sharks that are out there now. So there's a myth around sharks that all sharks need to constantly keep swimming in order to breathe. That's not true actually for every single species of shark. There are some sharks that can actually lay down on the ground and open and close their mouths in something that's called ram ventilation and force water to come into their mouths out of their gills and have the gills actually extract the oxygen that way. And so for some sharks, like a great white or a megalodon, you would have to consistently keep swimming in order to breathe and to live. I'm very surprised that nobody realizes there's a giant mass swimming underneath them. So this is what you don't want to do when someone screams shark, and that's splash about and cause a lot of chaos. One of the big rules that we have in order to swim safely in the ocean is to always swim with a buddy. And so you want to have a buddy with you to be able to look around, make sure, you know, if there is a shark, keep an eye on it. But you also want to make sure that you don't cause more attention on yourself. And that means a lot of splashing at the top, a lot of erratic swimming, because that to a shark actually sounds like something that a wounded fish or a wounded animal would actually do. So if you're trying to get away from a shark, try to have control of your swimming. And always remember, it's not the shark that you see that's...
Yeah, no, I'll totally fucking control my swimming when I'm getting away from a shark. This is a very valuable tip.
Sometimes the problems, it's sometimes the one you don't see. How did they lose such a big shark? There you go. So in modern history, the largest shark that has ever been recorded is probably a whale shark. They get up to 40 feet long, or about like 12 meters. Would a shark ever approach that many people? Depends on how timid the shark is. There are some species of sharks that are quite shy. For example, hammerhead sharks don't like bubbles that scuba divers give off, and you usually have to like hold your breath or be on something that's called a rebreather that doesn't put out bubbles in order to swim with hammerhead sharks. But I don't think a shark would actually go around and be around that many people unless it knew that there was food around and it was really, really hungry. China does have sharks. Asia in general does have sharks. Was Megalodon one of them? We don't know its full range, but I don't believe we found any Megalodon teeth or other fossils to indicate that it has been in that area. In Central America, they found what they believe was actually a Megalodon nursery ground, which is another reason as to why people were like, Megalodon is 100% extinct, because its nursery is above the water now. Shark ages vary very, very wildly. So anywhere from 10, 20 years to, if you're a Greenland shark, you've been around for 400 plus years. For Megalodon shark, we're not 100% sure though what its life expectancy was. What we've just seen with them lowering the machine and I'm assuming it kind of looks like a hydrophone, which emits like the dolphin noise and the whale noise. That's not something that happens. I've never heard of anyone using that as a shark repellent or as a shark deterrent. Dolphins and whales actually eat the same exact stuff as sharks. So if those animals are around, usually a shark's around too. There have been reports of dolphins and whales headbutting and driving away sharks, but don't always count on it. Next up, we've got Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, Cradle of Life. That was very quick. All right, so what she just did is cut herself in order to attract a shark to come closer to her. Usually it doesn't happen this instantaneously, and to be honest, if you cut your—
Bro, I take it back. I can fuck up a hammerhead shark, dude. Imagine being afraid of bubbles, dude. I'll just fucking blow bubbles. Psh. Fucking wow, Tierzu was wrong thinking that hammerhead sharks are OP. I'll literally just fart in the water, dude. Like a skunk. Weak spot. Yeah, I didn't patch that. Fuck that shit.
In real life, chances of you attracting a shark are actually very, very slim. You have a bigger chance of probably contracting an infection.
I don't get you. You live like a white rich capitalist and complain about rich people. Stop the hypocrisy. How much has this guy, I wonder, spammed this? Dude, what are you doing? Nice fingernails. You look like a girl. You look like a girl. Dude, fingernails are not for commies. Never have I seen a commie with fingernails. Are you serious? What the fuck are those fingernails? It's caught by the Fossabot. Says, I don't get you. You live like a white rich capitalist and then complain about rich people. Says it again. Says it again. It doesn't hit. So he says, stop the hypocrisy. Thank you.
In the water than you are of attracting a shark. But anything from a minute amount might be able to kind of pick up their senses and perk their senses and be like, oh, something's bleeding. I should probably go check it out and eat it. This one kind of seems to be like a tiger shark, but without the stripes. So I'm not the biggest fan of it because it's without the stripes. You know that noise that the shark made, that hiss noise? Sharks don't make noises like that. They actually don't make noises at all, really, except if you're some species of sharks, like dog sharks, you take them out of the water and they're known to bark as they release air out. That sounded more cat-like than shark-like. Yeah, that's a great way of deterring a shark.
What?
But have you ever tried punching something underwater before? You're usually—
Wait, is that for real? I straight up thought that was a myth, dude. I literally thought that punching a shark in the nose was like one of those things where it's like, oh, if you see a bear, like you act like you're dead. I didn't realize that, like, oh, I think she's being sarcastic.
Quite slow. There's a bit of drag, whereas sharks, they're literally built to not have drag. They're covered in something that's called dermal denticles, and it actually kind of makes them quite hydrodynamic. I probably wouldn't punch a shark in the snout just because your hand might actually end up down its throat. Instead, try to aim for the eyes, or even better, aim for those gill slits on the side. That's where it breathes. Basically, it's almost as if you were sucker punching someone in the lungs. It's gonna take their breath away. They're not gonna like it. They're probably gonna go away. The shark teeth aren't exactly the best. It doesn't look completely realistic, especially how the shark kind of like almost yawns in a way. After Laura has punched it in the mouth and it kind of shakes its head and goes away. Yeah, sharks will shake their head and kind of go away.
Black fight back, brown lay down, white good night. Yeah, fucking polar bears are vicious, dude. We always they're fucking murderers, dude. They're like murder puppies.
But the whole yawning bit isn't as often seen in sharks. Some species, yeah. Tiger sharks, not as much.
Yeah, I feel
So
like
it's a
that
really
whole
good thing
punch
that
him in
she
the
has
fucking
gloves
nose
on.
as a
I don't know if you
debate.
guys have ever felt a shark, but how many of you guys have felt sandpaper? Very similar, and it hurts when you rub up against it. And that's the same exact thing with sharks. So if you rub up the wrong way, we actually have a term for this.
Bro, how many fucking sharks has she rubbed up on, dude?
In shark science called shark burn. Those fingers, yeah, are definitely gonna be feeling the burn, quite literally. Also, don't do this. Please don't ride sharks. It's so bad for them.
Shark burn.
Not only are you stressing the animal out, but it could turn around and bite you, and that's not good for you.
I mean, she's braver than the fucking U.S. military for doing what she does for a living. You know what I mean?
Is it realistic
Straight
that
up.
Laura Croft held her breath for so long? Yes. It's actually something that's called free diving, and it's quite common. A lot of people can actually dive to deep depths in the ocean without taking a single breath. Quite advanced level skills, and it's something that I really wish I had, but my lungs suck, so I can't. One of the things that I love personally about tiger sharks, on top of everything else, because they're my favorite shark, is the nickname that they have of trash cans of the sea. And that's because they're pretty indiscriminatory of what they eat. Everything from chicken wire, TNT, suits of armor, tires, license plates. They really don't care and aren't that picky. Next up, couples retreat.
I also love her because she's super duper into what she does. Like, it's obvious. Like, you can see how happy she is to be talking about sharks like this.
You're too busy complaining
She's
about your
great.
problems to enjoy all these beautiful little fish that are...
I wish there was an experience like this where you can float by something and just feed fish, but it doesn't exist because it's dangerous as hell.
Sure!
What?
Sure!
Jason?
Okay, it's all happening, Marcel.
The one thing I don't understand is, why are people always surprised when there's a shark in the ocean? Like, if the shark showed up in your bathtub, sure, have this reaction, but like, you're throwing dead animals into the ocean. What did you think?
Can they? No. So shut up. Oh, God. Bro, if a shark shows up in your bathtub, you're fucking dead, dude. In your toilet? What? No.
Was gonna pop up? Flipper?
Of life is circling our lives right now.
Do not move. Do not panic.
Move, but gently and without panic.
Marcel, I need you to take the French out of your mouth and tell me what to do.
Don't let them see your fear.
Don't let him see your fear. That's very good advice because sharks can actually detect your heart rate going up. So do try to stay calm.
Don't worry. These are only lemon sharks. This is all part of the course.
So supposedly these are lemon sharks, but they don't look like lemon sharks to me. It actually looks more like some sort of reef shark. The size of the shark for those smaller reef sharks is pretty accurate, if not maybe a little bit on the smaller size.
What?
Don't do that. Don't spill chum on your mate. Don't do that. For those who don't know, chumming essentially is what we kind of just saw of just having a bucket full of blood, fish guts and oil and bits of fish that you kind of like take out one by one and kind of get it in a nice soupy mixture to attract sharks to come closer to you. It's not something that we tell people to do, but also scientists do use it for scientific research purposes, such as tagging a shark or doing a fin ID. What he should probably do is get out of the blood.
Let's get out the champ, but slowly. Swim slowly out the champ. Slowly.
That is very good. I like him. I like this French dude. He is giving good advice. Get out of the chum slowly. Don't panic.
They're torturing me. They're playing with me. They're slow playing me. Shoot up!
Slowly.
That is not staying calm. That's panicking.
Swim slowly out the champ. Slowly. Yeah.
The stop and start tactic, I don't really know if it would help or hurt, because if the shark wants to go at you, it doesn't matter if you stop. It's gonna know you're there. It's not gonna be like, oh, it stopped moving. I don't know where it went all of a sudden. Like, it knows you're there.
Go to shore. It's too late. They've got me. It's only a matter of time.
There's no sharks around you, honey.
If you notice on that last bit where he's kind of far away from the sharks, all of them are just in that one bucket. And that's all that they were really curious about was the blood. Would that happen in real life? Possibly. Word of advice is just don't have a bucket of chum slammed on top of you because you don't want to take any chances. Next up, we've got 47 meters down, uncaged.
People saying that's like Hassan? No. I would literally never say, go on without me. I would be crying, pissing, shitting, and farting while demanding that they save my life for putting me in that situation in the first place. I would never do the honorable thing and be like, let me go, please. I will die here with honor and dignity. If you shit, no. Shitting is the OP evasion strat. Why is it OP evasion? Because sharks don't want to eat you and they're like, oh god, it smells like doo-doo here. Like, I don't want to eat this thing. Fun fact.
All right, so a few things right off the bat. They're supposed to be in fresh water, and there are some shark species that are
like
in
the bull
fresh water.
shark.
They don't look like this or get that big, and it seems like the shark is also supposed to be blind. That's why it's got that milky covering over its eyes. We haven't really seen that in many shark species either. The only sharks that I've ever seen that are partially blind are actually Greenland sharks. And they have these little parasites or copepods off of their eyes, and it does kind of give them like a milky look, but definitely not like that. So far seems pretty unrealistic.
Bro, I'm literally a fucking marine biologist right now. Out of my unrealistic, well, I actually personally believe it's a very realistic fear of these fucking animals. I've literally learned so much about them just so I can figure out how to avoid them, when in fact all I needed to do to avoid them was just don't go in the fucking water.
But from what I'm seeing, it looks like it has 5 gill slits, so that's anatomically correct. Are there a lot of sharks that are in caves? Not that I've heard of. A couple of years ago, it actually made international news that there were some sharks that were found in like an underwater volcanoes. Even though it's very unrealistic that there's this many sharks, let alone in a cave area. Who knows? Maybe we just haven't discovered any yet.
I like it when she has certainty in her voice. I don't like it when she says, who knows?
The shark doesn't really look like any shark to me. It seems like someone took a bunch of like different pieces of sharks and made it into this like zombie looking shark. It almost looks like a mako or a porbeagle shark, but that's just like their little face and their body feature looks like that.
It's a mega shark.
You wouldn't really be able to see a shark coming towards you if it's coming from underneath, depending, I guess, on the life jacket. If you've got a really puffy one, you're lucky to see your own toes, let alone a shark. So as the people are treading around, you can kind of see the sharks are swimming around them, circling them. That is something that sharks do. What they're doing kind of while they're circling you is not only using their ampullative Lorenzini to figure out, all right, are you alive? Are you giving off electrical little minute pulses? But they're also looking at you as well. That's what they're doing with their eyes mostly, is looking at you to figure out what shape you are and if you're food or if there's something that you've never seen before. This shark is blind, so I don't know what the heck it's doing.
Do sharks need their eyes to see?
I haven't seen any research being done on what attracts a shark more in regards to noise. Is it more at the surface or more?
Like that, that's not even a joke. Like, okay. That didn't come out right. That didn't come out right. Shut up. I'm making a good point. Listen. I'm about to make a good point. In the water, can't they just like fucking, sense stuff and like smell shit? Or is it smell? Like do they smell underwater? Oh God. Okay, I've totally fucked up that part where I said originally you know, God, I'm a marine biologist. I really fucked that up, didn't I? I was doing so well with like the Greenland shark and, you know, all this other stuff. And now, how the fuck do you smell underwater? Anyway, I was saying, don't they use like vibrations to see like a fucking bat or some shit?
Underwater, but I would think at the surface, just because you have that splashing noise that can kind of travel farther, I think, than say underwater you don't have as much. And usually when you've got some sort of injured animal, they do kind of float up to the surface. However, because she slammed down, that noise probably did attract them to the source of it. They saw her or sensed her there with their superpower blind shark powers. Those are some terrifying last moments for her. There have been...
I'm going to ban this guy for his own good. Because he's literally been crying about the burrito rolls. I think I'm going to ban you, my friend, for like a day. Just so you can be unbanned tomorrow at the same time when I'm eating again. Okay? I'm gonna time you out for now. Just take 10 minutes to time out. Cool off. And recollect your senses.
Some cases, especially for surfers, that have shown a shark actually go for like the rib area and whatnot. So that is possible, yes. I have never been bitten by a shark, but while I was filming for Shark Week a few years ago, scuba diving underwater, I was actually bitten by a 10-foot American crocodile, and I've got the scars in the story to prove it. That actually was so deep that I could fit my pinky up to about there on every single one of those bite wounds. I guess you can kind of take a little bit of solace in that, knowing that a person who works actively with sharks, like pretty regularly, has never been bit by a shark, so your chances are quite low.
Okay, but now I'm conflicted about gators. This only led me to be more afraid of gators, which you should be. Gators are significantly more dangerous than sharks. But I, in all of my idiotic way of viewing the world, I'm less afraid of gators because they're at least on land. They're not catching me in the water. No. They live on land. I know. Chat, I know they live on land. Okay. I'm just simply stating that they're not going to catch me in the water because I'm not going to be in the water. But they could fucking catch these hands on land. In which case, like, as I've said before, like, I'd rather die from a bear attack than a fucking shark attack. It's the additional compounding factor of not being able to see and not being able to breathe while you're dying that makes it more terrifying for me to die in the water instead of dying in the fucking rainforest or wherever. How is this hard to comprehend? I do not want to die in the water. Because I can't breathe underwater. I'm not supposed to be there. It's just like, it just feels wrong. Whereas I'm supposed to die on land. This is why I don't like Florida. This is yet another reason why I hate Florida, by the way.
Will two sharks fight over a person and then tear them in half like that? Probably not. Very unrealistic. Usually there's kind of like a hierarchy for sharks when it comes to feeding. Oftentimes if one is kind of nibbling, the others kind of stand back until it's engorged itself, and then they go in that hierarchical order. They respect their elders and their big sharks. Next up, we've got deep blue sea. I've never seen a setup like this for a shark before. I will say that. So we don't have any like underwater labs like is shown here, but we do have some lab spaces that are near water, so we can actually bring sharks into an enclosure similar to this, but not with all the high-tech kind of gear. We do have some sharks that we keep in enclosures and do tests on, medical tests even, where we take blood, hemoglobin, and some skin tissues. Our labs might not look like this, but they're still pretty cool.
Membrane integrity is improving.
What the fuck?
They're firing! They're firing!
If anything's gonna be the most unrealistic part of this
What is this
movie, it's gonna
movie?
be that, is scientific results coming out that quickly. Yes, sharks are actually used for medical purposes. Not so much Alzheimer's to my knowledge, but in other ways, they're more predominantly used. It's called bioinspiration, using things that we find in nature in other parts of our life. For example, shark skin has actually inspired not only swimsuits that were banned in the Olympics, but also the design of airplane wings. So medically, there is quite a lot out there that sharks are starting to help with, especially because a lot of people are curious as to how their immune system holds up and how powerful the immune system can be.
Wuhan!
2 cc's of the protein complex.
That's how you get the shark coronavirus. Oh, fuck. I just spat out, dude. I just spat out my food. I got so excited. That's right. China. They're out there experimenting with sharks. That's it. That you guys sometimes ask what will turn me reactionary, and that's it. I found it. That will literally turn me into a reactionary conservative, straight up. Some sort of shark-related pandemic. Watch this rolling technique, motherfucker. It's not good because it's fast. Okay? I'm making burritos out of literally taco tortillas. It's not easy to fucking turn this into a burrito roll because there isn't enough space. So shut the fuck up, bitch, and watch me roll.
So while this scene does
Also, it
show
tastes
sharks,
delicious,
it's
so-
not all about shark science. It's mostly about the medical side and what they can use sharks for.
As long as the butt
But
cheeks
that's
are
actually
clenched
not
up
everything that
and
shark
it doesn't
scientists
fucking
can do.
fall
We have
out,
kind of
or
our
it doesn't
own
fucking
different
have the juices come out of its
or
ass,
niches,
we're good.
if you will, of expertise. And so for me, completely different from this. I actually look at habitat use of sharks, so figuring out why sharks are where they are, using technology such as drones or something that is called BRUVs, baited remote underwater video cameras. Essentially, it's like a GoPro with a little treat bag at the end to entice the shark to come a little bit closer so I can get a look at it, ID it, and figure out if that habitat has any significance, such as a nursery.
They're firing! They're firing!
Shark brains are really hard to come by because you need dead sharks for that. Even though it's not my expertise, there are some people who are out there studying these brains, but it's such a complex organ. We barely understand our brain. It's really hard to wrap our minds around another animal's very complex brain. Sharks, they can swim actually that kind of side to side motion. So it is very important that you tie your sharks down properly. Now, are you supposed to use those kind of...
The funniest thing is, like, all these movies this entire time featured sharks. When in fact, the real demons of the sea are the fucking marlin, dude. Like, everyone always is like, oh yeah, sharks, they're so scary. Like, they're the real villains of the sea. It's fucking marlins, motherfucker. Those things have swords, dude. I mean, yeah, orcas. Yeah. Okay, if we're being real, it's orcas. But orcas don't attack humans, right? I thought orcas, like, are devastating hunters, but they don't fuck with humans. They, like, even play with humans and shit. Or do they attack humans? I thought orcas were, like, super smart and play with humans. Or am I thinking of killer whales, maybe? I know dolphins rape. There's an episode of King of the Hill where Hank literally gets raped by a dolphin. Fuck me up. Oh. Orcas are killer whales. My bad. I think there are no attacks. While killer whale attacks on humans in the wild are rare and no fatal attacks have ever been recorded, as of 2019, 4 humans have died due to interactions with captive killer whales. Tillicum was involved in 3 of those deaths. What the fuck is Tillicum? Till I come? A whale at SeaWorld? Oh my god, that whale has the best KD, bro. Fuck yeah, no. See, that's different. Okay? If you're stuck in captivity and you just keep clapping human ass cheeks, dude, you have every right to do so. That's on the motherfuckers that put you down in that situation. Scientists theorize orcas are as intelligent as human beings, but express their intelligence differently due to evolving in the ocean. That's some kind of vegan propaganda, or is that true? There's no way that's true, bro. Bitch, we have nukes. Like, what? I'm sorry, dude. We have nukes. We have buildings. Like, you're like, oh, this animal must be as good as, this animal must be as smart as a human being because what? Like, it can use tools and shit and it can hunt? Get the fuck out of here, dude.
Ropes? No, there's special ropes that we use for sharks. Yeah, the rope is not well.
Yeah, we can go to the fucking moon. They can't even get on land, bitch.
Placed whatsoever. So a lot of times for ropes, if we're gonna loop one around the shark, we also try to loop one around one of the fins as well, so it doesn't like swim away without us like making sure it's good to go. So the rope job here is quite bad. But sometimes we actually put covers over the eyes so it doesn't freak out. You actually do this with quite a lot of wild animals. So I'm a bit surprised that they didn't have it on here, but also not that surprised because it's a movie. That the guy is in the water with him and the shark isn't actually doing anything to the guy can be a bit normal, just because maybe it's out of the shark's vision. It doesn't really care that much about it, but because that one guy was in front of his vision, that's why I kind of went around and went chomp, because it's like, oh, I see you, I'm unhappy, I'm gonna take it out on you. Yes, it does look like a Mako shark. Congratulations. It even got the teeth right, because the teeth, they almost look like needles and they're pointed backwards because they eat a lot of slip.
Look how excited she is, dude. She's so fucking happy. Like, I've never seen someone have such a wonderful happy take as she's like looking at death, destruction, and carnage. Like, oh my god, it's so sick. Look at this Mako shark eating 8 scientists.
Slippery fish, and so the teeth pointed backwards help it not move around as much. So good job, people. Do you see how there's multiple rows? That is accurate. Quite a lot of shark species do have those rows of teeth that when one tooth in the front falls off, another one kind of is like a conveyor belt. It comes forward and takes its place. I think on average it's like 30,000 though, teeth in a lifetime, which is a lot. They don't.
Whales develop culture and language long before humans. Checkmate. Okay, so what, motherfucker? They didn't take it anywhere, okay? They're not creating art that is gonna, you know, fuck my brain up, and I'm not interested. Learn how to walk, whale. Bitch-ass whale can't even fucking live on land, dude. Get the fuck out of here. Build a society, a civilization underwater with your nose and your little flippies, okay? And then we'll fucking talk. Probably because they don't have hands? Probably because they don't have hands? Oh, guess what, dude? Kind of your fault, okay? Sucks to suck. Casual ableism. Nice one. We can't live underwater. Yeah, hell yeah. That's precisely why we built fucking civilization on land. I don't see no fucking Atlantis underwater where the whales are living and chilling. Okay. So I am not even remotely interested. Okay. They have complex matrilineal social structures. Oh shit, dude. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that like having a cousin meant that you're evolved. Hey, guess what? Ring, ring. Calling everyone in Alabama. Guys, you guys are the ultimate evolved beings because you fuck one another and your cousins at the same time. Shit, dude. Sick. That's not what matrilineal means. Whatever, dude. I just made that up. It doesn't matter. You're making up words. I'm making up definitions, dude. It's the Jordan Peterson hour, okay? Whales are literally mammals, dummy. They had feet and then they evolved to an aquatic niche and no longer needed them. It's like making fun of a human for not being Tarzan. Take this L. Dude, if they literally let go of their legs because they got the fuck away from us disgusting humans and our final form of this evolution and instead turned around and built like sick-ass civilization underwater, then that's entirely different. Okay? If they were like, oh yeah, dude, fuck off humans. Like, we got super sick stuff down here. I'm constantly clapping whale pussy, okay? Nonstop, not interested. I'm, you know, diving up to eat some fucking, what are the things that they hunt that they're super smart? Like the sea dogs or whatever? Don't they eat like sea lions? Yeah, they eat like fucking sea lions and shit. They're just chilling on seals. Seals are sea puppies, by the way. They're literally sea dogs. For those of you who don't believe me, look up a video of a seal and you will be like, oh my God, Hassan is literally a marine biologist. Okay? Why didn't marine biology... No, never mind. Hassan is smarter than a marine biologist. Why didn't they call seals sea dogs? They literally operate like sea dogs. Anyway. Dogs in the sea. So, as I was saying, though, if whales were so fucking smart, dude. Someone said whales have 12 feet cocks. Okay, never mind. I rest my case. They are smarter, actually. Totally, I was wrong.
Don't get this big, as you can see. It seems like it's a pretty big enclosure that it's in. And compared to the man that you kind of see on the edge that was in the water with this shark, that's just not possible. Sharks are pretty smart as they kind of are. They've been around for millions of years, but as we've kind of said, their brains are something that we're just beginning to understand. So trying to kind of equate smartness to a shark is really hard to do, but we know they're really excellent predators, and what they've been doing for a while has worked. I don't know if making them smarter would make them more aggressive. I think it might make them more cunning hunters though, and might make them have a little bit of a temper and be fed up with people poking them. Next up, we've got Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. That is not usually an outfit we marine biologists wear when we go to feed our pet sharks.
I've got a little snack for you.
So in that small tank, probably is not going to be able to breach upwards, kind of how you saw in the film. It might be able to like lift itself up a bit, but not much. It does need a little bit of room to be able to propulsion itself up, to propel itself upwards out of the water. Most times when a great white shark is breaching, it usually goes like this, or like that way. There's a lot more splashing, a lot more area needed for.
I was banned last night for spamming using Volksgold. Dude, isn't Communist Bottom like a sock account that is like the 11th sock account, dude? Don't fucking carry water for this person.
For an animal to be able to breach. Definitely can see that it's a great white shark there. Would you have it as a pet? No, not even aquariums are good at keeping great white sharks in captivity. And
not even kidding, my great uncle was killed by a marlin that jumped in a boat and impaled him while they were deep sea fishing, like a Steve Irwin freak accident kind of thing. No, in the case of your uncle, like, I'm sorry about your uncle, and also with Steve Irwin, it's not a freak accident. We know that these motherfuckers literally launched themselves like harpoons at people. It's because, you know, they were there. Irwin. Shut up! W and V's are hard to say. Steve Irwin died by a stingray. All I'm saying is you wouldn't do that if you weren't there, okay? Like, how the fuck is a stingray gonna murder me? I'm not going into its habitat.
in fact, Monterey Bay Aquarium is one of the few that has actually kept them, and for a very short amount of time. It's very, very hard to keep great white sharks in captivity, mostly because they keep ramming into the edges of the aquariums. They do not like captivity whatsoever. Just a tidbit.
A marine biologist used to live with dolphins, and a male dolphin would swim up to her daily and she would beat it off, jerking off dolphins for real. First of all, that wasn't the dolphin's fault. That was literally the fucking scientist's fault for constantly jerking off the dolphin. That is a real story, by the way. That's not even a joke. That's literally a real story. That's not a joke. John Lilly's fucking psychotic experiments. Yeah. What did I think NPR did a thing on it called The Dolphin Who Loved Me. Yeah, they did. They were doing like acid experiments and shit. Your precious sea puppy seals regularly rape penguins. Have you ever fed stingrays in an aquarium or some shit? Dude, I've never gone to like a water world or some shit like that. I am not remotely interested in being around animals in captivity like that. It feels weird. We went to the zoo, remember? Me and Doodoo Daphne. It's just like one of the few instances where I've ever actually... Motherfucker said Water World? What? I don't know. Sea World, Water World, whatever the fuck it's called. Dumbass. I don't know. You can swim with rays in the Cayman Islands? No thanks, dude. No thanks, dude. Absolutely, I'm good. I learned something today. Thank you, Scientist Hassan. Your shark knowledge makes me feel inferior. Thank you for your contributions to peer-reviewed literature. The study on shark mommies was absolutely incredible and statistically sound. Yeah.
While it's not illegal to own sharks in your own personal aquarium, it's actually quite hard, not only A, to get a shark, such as a great white, to keep, but also some of them are protected, so you can't own them. And it's not really the smartest thing you want to do anyways. Not only does the animal get a lesser quality of life, but you're gonna have to pay a lot of money to keep up with how much a great white shark feeds.
Here, Snowflake. I've got a little snack for you.